So, dear all, welcome back to the series of the video lectures on the subject power quality. In this today's video lecture, we shall discuss about the characteristics of the voltage sag. The characteristics of the voltage sag have the major sags: magnitude of the sag, duration of the sag, balanced or the unbalanced nature, phase angle jump, missing voltage, and point at which the sag is initiated. So these are the certain characteristics of the voltage sag. Like duration, magnitude, phase angle jump, then point on which the sag is initiated, then point at which the wave of the voltage recovery is happening, the missing voltage. So let us discuss one by one in the detail. So estimating the voltage sag magnitude is nothing but this will be with the help of the power quality analyzer, or we can continuously record the data and we can plot the graph in between the instantaneous voltage with respect to the time. And here we can find out the magnitude of the voltage sag, it is defined as the minimum RMS voltage. So the magnitude of the voltage sag determined from the RMS voltages. The magnitude of the sag is considered as the residual voltage or remaining voltage during the event. So the RMS value during the sag is not completely constant, and that the voltage doesn't immediately recover after the fault. So there are various ways of obtaining the sag magnitude from the RMS voltage. The best way is use of the power quality analyzer. The most power quality monitors take the lowest value obtained during the event, as sag normally have a constant RMS value during the deep part of the sag. Using the lowest value is the acceptable approximation. So in the case of the three-phase system, the voltage sag can also be characterized by the minimum RMS voltage during the sag if the sag is symmetrical, that is equally deep in all the three phases. If the sag is unsymmetrical, that is the sag is not equally deep in all the three phases, means it have different values in all the RYB phase. The phase with the lowest remaining voltage is used as the reference value to define the characteristics of the sag in terms of the voltage sag magnitude. Okay, so the magnitude of the voltage sag at a certain point in the system depends on what? The type and the resistance of the fault, the distance to the fault, and the system configuration. So these three points will define the magnitude of the voltage sag in the system, like the type and the resistance of the fault, like symmetrical fault, unsymmetrical fault, the distance of the fault, how far it is from the source or the load, and the system configuration, whether it is a single phase system, three phase system, then whether it is a three phase 4-wire system, three phase 3-wire system. So all these are the points which will define the characteristics of the magnitude of the voltage sag. So the calculation of the sag magnitude for the fault somewhere within a radial distribution system. So this diagram indicates about the radial distribution system with source, EMF, impedance, system impedance. Then voltage sag occurred at the one line due to the fault at the point of the point of common coupling. So ZS is the source impedance at the PCC, that is the point of common coupling, and ZF is the impedance between the point of common coupling and the fault. So ZF is the fault impedance, ZS is the system impedance, and these two are isolated with the help of the or interconnected with the help of the PCC, point of common coupling, also referred as the bus bar. The voltage sag at the PCC equals the voltage at the equipment terminal. So this is the simple calculation, just go through this, that will give you the voltage sag magnitude as the ZF upon ZS plus ZF into the EMF E So assume that the pre-event voltage is exactly 1 per unit. So we can put E is equal to 1. So these are the certain cycles. This is the expression. With the help of one can find out the voltage sag RMS value for the number of the events. So next characteristics is a sag duration. So that will define the duration for which sag is persist in the system. So voltage sag duration, that is the duration in which voltage sag is dropped. So duration of the sag is nothing but equal to the fault clearing time, or the number of the cycles during which RMS voltage is below at a given threshold value, is nothing but the voltage or duration of the sag. So basically one can have the different types of the sag, like instantaneous, momentary and temporary. Instantaneous sag are like in between the 0.5 to the 30 cycle, momentary 30 cycle to the 3 second, and temporary 3 second to the 1 minute. So the duration of the voltage sag is mainly determined by the fault clearing time. Okay, the actual duration of the sag is normally longer than the fault clearing time. The duration of the voltage sag is the amount of which, or the amount of the time during which the voltage magnitude is below the threshold, is typically chosen as 90% of the nominal voltage magnitude, and that decides the type of the sag, as I told you earlier: instantaneous, momentary and temporary. For the three-phase system, consider the three RMS values to find the duration. The voltage sag starts when at least one of the RMS voltage drops below the sag starting threshold. The sag ends when all the three voltages have recovered above the sag ending threshold. So that will define like a symmetrical sag and unsymmetrical sag. So the commonly used definition of the sag duration is the number of the cycles during which the RMS voltage is below a given threshold. That, as I told you, instantaneous is like 0.5 to the 30 cycle, momentary 30 cycle to the 3 second, and temporary is between the 3 second to the 1 minute. So these threshold will be somewhat different for each monitor, but typical values are around 90% of the nominal voltage. A power quality monitor will typically calculate the RMS value once every cycle. So again, in continuing with the same thread, the post fault sag will affect the sag duration also. Means after clearing the fault, when the fault is cleared, the voltage doesn't recover immediately. This is mainly due to the re-energizing and re-acceleration of the induction motor load, and like others also. This post fault sag can last several seconds, much longer than the actual sag. That depends on the ability of the system to clear the fault. So we shall discuss some of the points in the next lecture.